Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the ZoomLock kit system from Parker. And so you're really going to love this one. I've been playing with it for a while. The guys gave it to me and they said play with it, just don't sell it. And I think that's a pretty cool trade-off, right? So inside the kit is going to be a catalog. There's going to be a handy pull-out. Here's a sheet, 5 easy steps, along with a repair kit for not repair kit, but a repair manual for like making basic repairs and changing the head, the crimp head. Also, there is some really cool catalog inside here, ZoomLock catalog. It has all sorts of cool things in it, accessories, what to do, what not to do. Here's some replacement parts and accessories, different kinds of kits out there, different kinds of fittings. It's kind of a cool setup. But when I was at HR Expo in 2019, there was a lot of discussion was what are these things rated for? What are the couplings of the long radius elbows and 90s and T's and stuff rated for? Well, continuous operating temperature is 250 degrees. The O-ring temperature rating is at minus 40 degrees to plus 300 degrees. The maximum rated pressure is 700 psi, and the minimum burst pressure, what this coupling is going to burst, is 2100 psi, and the vacuum pressure capability is at 20 microns. And so, I mean, this thing's going to work on everything that you're going to have out there as far as with refrigeration, HVAC, R22, even though it's being phased out, 410, 404A, 134A when you're running refrigerants. And this system works fantastic. There's all sorts of little things that are inside the kit. There's a reamer, pipe reamer, and a beveler, and I'm going to show you that, and gauges, and the RLS, and extra batteries, and crimp heads, not power heads, but crimp heads. Here's a 7/8, here's a 5/8, here's a 3/8 crimp head, and it's all inside the kit. And so, but you have to remember there's some steps that you have to take, because if you don't take the steps, it's gonna hurt you down the line. So we're going to take a piece of 1/2-inch copper, and we're going to take the reamer, and this is everything that we do all day long anyways in refrigeration and HVAC. We're going to ream the inside of the pipe. Then we're going to take, after it's reamed out, we're going to bevel and clean up the outside edge. Looks great. I'm going to remove the RLS crimp system here. Inside is going to be some Brillo pads. I like to use Brillo pads instead of using sandcloth. I don't really want deep grooves in the copper, but the Brillo pad works great. Removing those oils, getting everything ready to go. Now you're good to go. Then there's a temperature, not a temperature gauge, but there's a depth gauge. I'm thinking temperature, but there's a depth gauge. Piece of pipe goes inside the depth gauge. Then you're going to mark this with your black marker. You're going to have a black marker on hand. Makes it easier to have a black marker on hand. You can see the line right there. There's your depth gauge. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to get the connection piece, a coupling. And so the reason for it is a lot of guys will fit this together like this, and they'll be like, oh, I'm in. This is it. But you can see a little bit right there of the black mark that I have on there, a little bit of the black mark. You can see now you're all the way in. That black mark disappears. It's down inside the bevel. You know that you're all the way into the coupling. We're going to go ahead and put it inside the jaws here. The ZoomLock, the RLS. Now there's a button that's back here on the back right here. You're going to go ahead and push that button. You know that the pressure's off, and you're done. Now inside the kit is going to be a crimp gauge, and it's marked. This one's marked for 1/2 inch. You can see the different size: 5/8, 1/2, 3/8, all of 5/16 quarter. And so in this case, we're doing 1/2 inch. We're going to put this here. Perfect. You can see it fits inside. Fits perfectly on the inside. No problems. You know that this coupling is crimped all the way. And so that's it. Had it not been and this not fit inside the gauge right here, then you would have to put it back inside the RLS and give it another run. So again, we're going to go ahead and do the other side. Nothing new. This is perfect. This system is great where you have hot work or burn permits, 24 hours to 48 hours. Maybe you're working in a power plant. Maybe you're working in a manufacturing plant where chemicals are being used in the air and they're worried about explosives. Maybe you're working in somewhere where there's patient care or in someone's home and they need it done right now, and you just can't get in there with a torch, because I've seen it, commercial buildings where you can't get in a torch. You know what? And you got to get the job done. Again, these are all the steps. We're going to take the mark, and you don't want to stop. You don't want to bypass these steps, because if you bypass these steps, that could be the difference between leaking and not leaking. And honestly, it's really is. It works fantastic. Here we are inside. Goes all the way to the mark. The black ink marker is down in the bevel. You know it's perfect. We're going to take the zoom. We're set in place. Push the black button. Release the jaws. Check it with the crimp gauge. Perfect. Perfect. And so there's a lot of uses for this. There's a lot of uses for this. And so if you do all the 5 steps that are inside what I've shown you here, you're going to have no problem with the Parker ZoomLock. And this is an awesome system. Inside the kit, like I said, is going to be this. You're going to have the reamer. It's a Makita charger, batteries, crimp heads. You're going to have a depth gauge. You're going to have the RLS that you can see right here. You're going to have some a Brillo pad. You're going to have the crimp gauge right here, the crimp gauge. And this thing's going to be ready to go. You're going to be ready to go to get on the job. And the battery lasts a long time. I haven't had any problems today with anything using this. I've been using it a lot today. I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready to go. And put the catalog back. And this guy is ready. This guy's ready to go. And here you are. Lock up the box and see you later. And this is the ZoomLock from Parker. And so if you want additional information, I'm going to put some links to it on my YouTube page. And there'll be links that are going to be there. And if you also want to talk to me about it and get my personal feelings, if you have some personal questions about it, you don't want to leave comments, you can do so on the YouTube. But, or you can get a hold of me on email at hvacreeferguy@gmail.com. And this is the ZoomLock, the flame-free refrigerant fittings, and this is ZoomLock by Parker. As always, work safe, be good humans. We'll see you next time.